Just F It. Hi, I'm Romi.
Hi, and I'm Carla.
And together we are the F It
Madres.
Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres
who have changed their lives through an F It moment. So here we go.
Just F It. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
Motivation Monday.
Mug. What were the other slogans that we were? Moody Monday.
Yes, Moody Monday. God, yes. That I'm feeling the case of the Mondays.
Case of the Mondays, but also Motivation Monday. Let's not forget.
Yes, Monday Madre.
Yeah, Monday Madre and all that sort of stuff. So, Romi and I were just talking before jumping on this, and we were like just talking about how all the women that have been on, most of them have been through their F It moment, and a lot of the F It moments they've been through have taken a good amount of time to have gotten them to where they were on the other side of, all of that change. And, just so you're aware, F It moments can take a long time. They don't necessarily happen overnight. I mean, they actually don't happen overnight because it starts accumulating and it starts building and you ultimately do have an F It moment. But then once you're in it and you've said F It and all of this change happens, there's like a whole roller coaster of emotions, of other things that come about that, that we have to get through to get finally to that other side. So it's the whole journey that is, it can be really tough sometimes. And so, I wanted to talk to Romi to ask her where she's at in her F It moment, because we had done a live couple weeks ago with a quick one for me, but I was like, let's check in with you. Let's see where you're at. What's going on with you? How are you feeling? And so that's what we're doing today. So
I just want to say quickly for anyone that is tuning in, normally on a Monday, this would be a mom guest. We normally have a mom on here and we would go through their F It moment. And it's about either a mom who's had it, sharing that they had it, a mom that's in it, a mom that has either failed at it and jumped back from it. We've had two mamas on here together, that are sharing theirs. And every now and then we just kind of break it up with checking in as our, with our own stories, because it is our own journey and our own stories that created this entire space. So if you're tuning in today and you're hearing just the two of us, Carla and I are two best friends, two Latina women, two mamas of our little girls, and had an F It moment. And that's how this podcast was started. So here we are. Just for those of you who are maybe first-time listeners, and we hope you are.
Mm-hmm. Should we then maybe edit this and be like, who are we? And start out with that whole thing? Yeah. Okay, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, okay. It's okay. So just ask it.
Who are we, Romi?
We are the F It Madres, and we come in every Monday to motivate other mamas, with mamas, by mamas, for mamas, in this crazy world. We interview mamas who are saying F It.
Okay. All righty. Well, yes. So today we're going to interview Romi because she's been going through some things, as we all do. But, I think it's important that we hear these struggles that we go through, because we all go through them. And when we hear other people go through them, it is validation, makes you not feel as bad. And, hopefully it's inspiring to some other people that might feel they're in the same spot. Because, we're going to also ask Romi what her actionable steps are, because action always has to be part of this journey. All right, Romi. So where are you right now in your journey?
I just want to state for anyone listening, Carla and I have been going through coaching programs. So this is very much Carla in the coach's seat with me right now.
Yeah, totally.
So anyone listening, this is stuff that we're studying that Carla's really involved with and we've talked about on our social media page. So I was like, oh, I feel like we're doing our,
we are.
What brings you here today?
Yeah. What brings you here today, Romi? What are we here to work on?
Four big breaths, right? In, out. Everybody do that with me. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I've been posting on the social media, and first of all, big shout out to Carla, who has really opened up on our social media and been like super vocal and active. And I'm so freaking proud of her, because those are massive steps to somebody who really could have cared less about social media, but also understands
Yes.
understands the importance of it in the journey that you're on as well, and the journey that we're on. So shout out to you. But
Well, thank you.
I recently posted, Mondays are really hard for me right now. They're actually, they were such a motivational thing, and they still are, right? Like when we have a mom on, I always end up afterwards being like, God, I needed to hear that. Like, oh, I'm so glad I heard that. Like I needed that today. Especially, I'm so glad we do this podcast on Mondays, because it is the beginning of the week. Because like even now I'm checking in with you after having a really shitty Monday, and this is the beginning of the week. So like refocusing before we get lost in the week, right?
Right.
Um, I am doing like 30 days of affirmations on the social media, where I'm getting up every day and I'm like, and I'm doing that because, okay, in the effort moment that we had, that created the podcast, that, got us into coaching school, that got us working on all of this, it was how long ago, Carla?
Well, we started the
Maybe a
podcast in
year.
August. August. Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah, so almost a year ago.
Wow.
And like we're coming up on summer, and like I remember summer being like when we started. I remember, that time in my life. And okay, it's been a year, and I mean I'm definitely frustrated. I'm definitely frustrated. Um you have those days where you're just like on fire, and you wake up, and I think I wake up in the morning and I like do my affirmations and I get my workout in and I feel like lit, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn it around. I have the power. I'm going to, shit out crystals today and manifest my life, and like it's all going to happen, cuz like
Right.
I have the attitude, and I'm going to start this day fresh despite like what's happening. And then shit just keeps happening. It just keeps happening and happening. And for those of you that don't know much about me, like I'm a single mama. I raised my daughter like on my own here, not on my own to the degree that her and my dad and I have a beautiful co-parenting relationship. So I don't ever want to state that I'm fully alone, because I'm not. We do a great job together.
Mhm.
But it's a lot. So for any of you single mamas listening, like it's a lot to just have things going wrong all the time, and to just be home dealing with it all the time without sometimes somebody there to talk to, like in your home, or to like help you in your home, or to like, my car broke down this morning and I had to get it to the car shop at 7 a.m. before a work Zoom, and I haven't had a car all day, and then it's like we're supposed to be motivating, and I owe thousands of dollars that my credit card doesn't have. And I'm like, but I'm working on this podcast and I'm in coaching school and everything's like super positive, right? But like, I'm just crying every Monday.
Mm. Yeah. I've had those moments too.
Yeah. And I'm like, why can't I just like get a break, And I will say, like, I do pull myself out, like even getting ready for the podcast right now. Do I want to sometimes? Am I in the right headspace sometimes? Like, no. Hang on, let me put that now. Oh, the dog. Okay. I'm back. Like, do I want to do it on Mondays? Sometimes, no. Is it exhausting? Do I want to admit to myself? Yes. But it's also like that reminder of like, you got to do it. You want it. It's what you want. So you got to show up and you got to pull yourself together, wipe your tears, put your face on, and remember the end goal. And no matter what this last year has looked like for me or for you, and it's been challenging, we still show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We still do it.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
why do you do it? Why do you show up?
I show up because the option of not isn't an option for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not, I don't want to look back and be somebody who was like, oh, I started something I really wanted, but life just got so crazy and hectic, and like I gave up. I don't want to say that. I don't want to look at that. And it's one of those things where somewhere in the back of my head, maybe everything we listen to, all the podcasts we listen to, that like you said, like 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day of something you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is something I want. I believe in it. It's something that I think has a really powerful message and is needed and is something I will do full time one day, be able to help women and help moms and like have these conversations. Um so when life is crumbling, it feels like um I like have to remind myself like of what the end goal is of what I want.
Mm-hmm. And through this roller coaster of an effort moment, what have been the things that you've learned about yourself? Has there been anything from when we started this podcast to that has changed, that you have actually felt in you change?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I think at the beginning of this podcast, I was on a high of like me and my best friend are going to start a podcast and like I just got out of a really hard relationship, I got out of something really difficult at that time and I was at a weird space in my life, and so this was like really inspiring and just what I needed at that. The effort moments happen when you are fucking in the middle of something, like life is happening and you're like, I'm either going to go this way with it or go this way with it, and I chose to take what was happening in my life and go this way. But when I started it, I had just come out of really feeling pretty beat down about myself, honestly. I was feeling pretty negative self-talk, and had gotten out of something that where I like my self-worth wasn't very high. Um and still learning to, like, as you've seen over the last year, like love myself. So what I think I've learned after having this effort moment was like we started a coaching school. I did finish it. Like I
We
did
started
do
a
all
coaching program. We didn't start a
program.
school.
Yeah, no, this is we got enrolled in a coaching
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
So that's how I should say it. So we enrolled in one. We had to study. We had to finish these assignments, and I did. And I did. And I was very open that like that wasn't something I felt I could do because I had that self-talk of like you're not smart. And now I'm challenging myself with the conversation and the self-talk of like you're not good with money, and I'm trying to read things that rewire that view, because once upon a time I'd say I wasn't smart enough, and then it was like, well, I am smart enough. I can do these things that other people do. Um so I think my effort moment has taught me that I can do hard things, like not just I'm not just built to handle hard life, which is I think what I've kind of accepted is that like I'm really strong. If life is hard, I'm going to get by, but like that I can do hard things for things that I want. I think
Mhm.
that's what I've really taken away over the last year.
And how is that self-talk now?
I don't think that I can give up as easy as maybe I once could. And
Mm.
I don't think that I can, even though I go there. And that's, if you're listening, like I cry a lot. And it's hard to pull myself out of victim mode at times, right? I can't live in it anymore. Like in the sense of like it's not, it can't own me. And I
Mhm.
also, as a mom, this is a place where a lot of you moms listening can understand. We have to keep going. Like there's not like, I mean, I guess you don't have to. I guess you could be a mom that doesn't keep going, but like I have to keep going.
Mhm.
And so I choose that. What do you like? What's your step? What's your weird quote about the fucking steps, Carla, that you
Oh,
love?
so like instead of looking at the entire mountain, just
Mhm.
take like just take 3 feet. Just do 3 feet in front of you. Make those the markers.
That's probably what I feel like right now.
Mhm.
I feel like every day it's just take another step. Just like even today, like 5 o'clock came, the workday was over. It had been hard with like the car and finances and the job and the stress, and I was just like, just keep going, just keep going. And by taking those little baby steps in the direction that I want to go, like I'm moving through it. We're here with a podcast that we're in our second season of a podcast. We're almost at a year mark.
Mm-hmm.
We finished, the assignments I did for the program that we were in. Now the next steps is to get, clients and start like actually coaching people. So that's the next chapter. I got a template of a website up, like it's all skeletons to the bigger picture, but like it's
Their steps.
their steps.
Yeah. Their steps. Even no matter how little they are, their
Right.
steps. Yeah. So then
Yeah.
what is your goal for your effort moment? What do you want for yourself?
I want freedom in doing a job. I think we say this a lot, that I really love and am passionate about, that my heart feels connected to. Like I really want to be doing what I have a great work ethic. I work hard. I'm not a lazy person. I go all day in things that I care about, whether that be my daughter or my job or my health, or my fitness, like things that I love, things that are important to me. My goal is to be able to do coaching for women and moms, is to have this podcast really launch with you and I, and to be able to work with you on a level that like we're actually like working and taking this to the level that we want. And there's a book and we're able to speak one day, and we're able to like take this to different communities, and I visualize it and I see it and I want it. And it feels so, I think like when you find something that feels so real, where you see it, like it's just so clear, like it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get there.
Mm-hmm. So then, but what is your why though? Like, why do you want all these things?
My why would be, my why is always my daughter. But I think that more and more over the last year, even just through this, my why is like also becoming so much more me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I shouldn't say I don't think, I know. I just didn't accept that I could have a life, I don't know, like that I really wanted or dreamed of, you know?
Why?
I don't know. And I'm working through that right now. Like I don't really know where that came from. I don't know if there's, we talk a lot on here about like childhood and things that we like bring with our kids, and I'm sure a lot of moms can actually relate to this, so I'll go ahead and put it out there, Um I was a little girl whose mom was on welfare, we didn't have anything. We were very poor. She struggled really hard. And then moved into a home with the woman that my mom had married, that like we ended up having like a lot of money, and I always felt like an imposter. We talk about that a lot on here, but like I always felt like that wasn't mine. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, because ultimately when my parents divorced, it was all taken from me. So it never felt like I was worthy of that. And I think there was always going to be this self-talk of like, you're just that poor little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on that in therapy, because it's like that's where my money issues are. That's where and like if you don't tackle those things, they live in you, and they fucking find their way out. And so I think this last year has been like, no, you can be, you need to rewatch. You can be good with money. You can be smart. You can have your own company. You can go and help other women. You're not this person from a reality show. You're not this little girl from your childhood. I can be whoever I want to be. Is basically what this last year has been like. But
So
in that,
you're basically rewriting your story
yeah, I'm rewriting.
and rewiring.
Yeah, yeah, like that thing you sent to me, that Instagram about the wiring of like the
Yeah.
self, that was like mind blowing, and things that we've been working on in therapy. And I'm like, so like anyone listening, like, yeah, I'm 41 years old. Which, by the way, the last week, our someone I was telling at a wedding that I did the other day that I was 40, and she was like, "When were you born?" I was like, 82, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm 41. I'm literally claiming 40 still." Like,
Yeah, I know.
I'm still saying I'm 40.
Yeah.
But like at 41, if you want to, and it's not easy, and I don't want to always do it, and you know this, like you can rewire your story.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I was a poor little girl in fucking Anaheim on welfare who came from like a dysfunctional family, or I was a wild child on television to some, like I'm not that person. There's so much more to me, and I'm capable of so much more, and I'm more than just a mom, right? Like I'm in that struggle right now. And like, yes, for anyone listening, there are those days that you're like, this is never gonna fucking happen. I'm so sick of manifesting and all this positive fucking bullshit. Life is sucks. I'm suck. It's not for me. It's not gonna happen to me. This is just my story, and there's nothing out there for me, right? Like that self-talk really it surfaces with me.
It's moments like that though when you have to real buckle down. It's like when you're like really fighting against it, that's where you have to like double down.
And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'll just be honest. Like, when you're asking me, I'm in that like double down. Like, I'm real close to just throwing in the towel sometimes right now and like going back to this isn't going to happen for me. And I'm fighting, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
fighting to push through it.
So then you would say that the reason that you want to do it is not just for your daughter, but it's really to prove to yourself that you are no longer this poor little girl / TV star who has, honestly, hearing you say all this is like just had no self-worth. You really didn't see that you could have those things.
I think the things that I always knew I could be, which I can be, is, funny and entertaining and sexy. And like, like I can crack a joke or like look real cute or so, you know what I mean? Like that was like where I found it. And so there wasn't a lot of like, hey, you can do this. You can do big things. You can go to school. You can relearn something. You're really smart. You can have this. You can be really wealthy. Like you're intelligent. That just wasn't things I was hearing,
Mm-hmm. Is that why you chose to do makeup, by the way? Like out
I
of
mean,
curiosity?
yeah, that's actually a great question. Yeah, when I was 19, I was in school for like acting and theater. I was in City College, and I remember starting, I got my first job doing makeup, and it was like, well, I was good at that. It's pretty, it's easy. It's like I can do makeup. I'm good at style and fashion and pretty. And I remember being like, okay, this is what I can do. And I went to school for it, and I was like, this is what I am good at, is like visual stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So you kept it at that for a very long time, and now you're realizing that you have a lot more depth.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew I had a lot more depth. It was just, I didn't think that the people around me knew that I had enough depth. So I
Mm.
catered to them rather than catering to myself.
Interesting. So you essentially were living your life according to how other people viewed you.
Essentially, I was dancing like a monkey for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I knew what they wanted to receive. I knew what they needed from me. I knew what how to please, like the
Mm.
room. And then I would go home with like obviously such an emptiness, as a young girl, like such a loneliness, right? Because it was like I knew that I was more. I knew I was capable of more, and I also knew that I was just like putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
But like also nobody was asking me like
Right.
hard questions or
Yeah.
telling me or caring. It was just that's what I was. I was a party girl. I threw events. I was on TV. I did makeup. Like it was just a very, and then I became a mom. And then, as new moms, you just kind of like die out like, into like the survival mode, and then I became 40. And then I was like, you know what? I'm fucking smart and I'm fucking deep as fuck. And and I'm in tune to things. And I want that level of life around me.
Okay. So for the moms that are listening, and if you believe in manifesting, and we've been talking about that, like Romy and I on our Instagram and all that, manifesting is great, but like if you don't do
Yeah.
anything like actionable steps, nothing's going to happen. So I'm curious to hear from you. What are your actionable steps every day to keep you moving forward in this effort moment?
Well, I mean, right now, I because I'm struggling, right? So because I'm in the midst of like a really kind of hard season with it, I'm trying to get up in the morning and state those things that I am deserving of, find what I am grateful for, trying to make that like a consistent thing for me. I started last night, 15 minutes of journaling, 15 minutes of writing my story that I always wanted to share, right? Like we keep saying just a little bit a day. So I'm trying that. I show up every Monday on here. We get on Instagram and do what we need to do, like for the things that we want. And I get up every day and I take care of myself, and I get up every day and I show up to work. And like, I don't want to every day. I don't, but I don't want to give up. Like, I just don't want to give up. So some days are just like today, like Mondays are hard for me. I'm check in with me by Wednesday. I might be like high as a kite and so motivated and on like cloud nine, but like, those Mondays sometimes hit and I'm like, just keep going,
Mm-hmm.
just keep going.
Yeah. What is it about the weekends then that you do that make Monday so hard for you?
I'm not doing what I want to be doing every day through the week. And I think that when Mondays hit, it's that reality that here it is again.
Mm-hmm. So are weekends like a little bit of an escape for you? And then reality hits on Mondays, and that's why you're
Yes.
like, fuck.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
And so for anybody who I would say is listening that isn't really happy with like what they're doing or, where they're at, like as far as their life and what they want, like if every week you're feeling that,
It's a sign.
it's a sign that something is not aligned with you. You're not where you need to be. And so it's really like loud and clear right now that like just whatever is going on in my life right now is just not like as far, and this isn't like anything bad is happening. I'm perfectly fine. Life is good. We have a home and food, a job, everything's great. So it doesn't have to be some physical thing around you that is shit, right? It's just something in your soul sometimes that's like everything looks good. Everything's there. I'm not without, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but something in my soul is just like pulling me in another direction. So when Mondays hit, I feel it really hard.
Yeah. That makes sense. If you're
Yeah.
doing something that you don't enjoy, Monday would be the slap in the face of the thing that you don't enjoy. And I mean, for those people too that are listening to this that are like, maybe there's that fear about like, oh, well, I do feel like that. Now I need to do something. What do I need to do? Well, I think the first baby step is just being aware and
Yeah.
start.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the first step you could take is to become aware and start really paying attention to that. And then just start to work towards essentially getting yourself out of that situation. But like, if you feel that every Monday, and you just brush it aside, one day you're gonna break.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want to break now where you're a little younger and you've got the energy and the time, maybe? Or do you want to wait until you're, 20 years, 15 years, 5 years even down the line and you're like, damn, I've known this long and I'm still in this position. So I think like give yourself some credit if you've at least become aware and mindful of that feeling because I think that is a very big step and you should acknowledge it.
I mean, we say this a lot, Carla, and it was our effort moment that got us here. Yes, we're still in our effort moment, but I feel an effort moment brewing. Like I can't even say the
Oh
word right now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
I feel another one coming and I don't
mhm,
even know what it is, but
right.
like I can feel it in me where it's like she coming. She's
Yeah.
ready to F it again. And I
Yeah.
don't know how and when, but sometimes those effort moments, it's when you get real uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And
Yeah.
that's like these effort moments are also for a lot of people, like for us and for even the woman that we interviewed on Monday. or the episode came out on Monday. It's like snowball. It
Yeah.
snowballs. Like one thing happens to the other. One thing happens one after the other, because when you say F it for the first time, there's that shift in your head, and it starts just leading to these other changes. Even almost if you're almost kind of like not even aware of it consciously, but subconsciously. It's just like you're becoming very much like, well, fuck this, fuck that. I'm just going to do this. Like you're becoming so much more like less wound up and willing to try new things because you just are like, fuck it. So for people that are listening to this and are like, well, I want that effort moment, you might have tons of them that result in one really big one. And it might take a really long time to get there. And some people, it might happen faster, but it's your journey. You'll get there when you need to. Like, just like, even though we're in the thick of it, I know we'll get there. Like we will. This is this uncomfortable journey that we're going through.
I mean, it can't be, I imagine, as rewarding in the end if it just was like not worth fighting for.
Totally. Absolutely. Yes. Someone did just say that it was probably Mel Robbins or Jay Shetty or something that was like, yeah, if it's not that difficult, like how is it going to feel like you've won something or you achieved something? Like, yeah, it's not going to feel that way.
Yeah, no. When this kind of falls into the place and the environment and peace in me that I see and want, I hope I'm able to share and look back on this podcast and this interview and share with another mama, like, hey, this was not like some easy ride. Like I did not want to do this all the time, and it was really uncomfortable. And not all effort moments are some beautiful, majestical, my wings have grown and I am a badass mama. Sometimes you're literally, like Carla said, taking one baby step, like at a time, because the mountain's too big.
Yeah. So then what would you say to someone that is in a position like yours right now? Like, what sort of motivational things would you tell them that you'd want? What are the things that that feed you and motivating you that you could share?
Look, I'm yawning because I'm so exhausted. I would say life is, I say this a lot and it's so fucking cliche, and I get that. Like, I understand that it sounds like nonsense. Like it should be like a sign above our house, that people buy in like cheap stores. But like, life is short, guys. Like, life is really short. It really is that short. And I say this all the time. It is what I live by. And I mean that in the sense of like, what are you waiting? Like, when is the right time? Like the right time, if you feel it, is now. It's not, oh, when this and this happens, then I'm gonna have that. It's like, it's now. Like, life is happening right now. It's passing us by, and tomorrow is not promised. While I have my health, while I'm able to do the things that I do, I need to do them. And I think the biggest thing that I learned by one of the guys that we were in coaching with, I did a session with him. Remember that guy that was like awesome?
Justin, yeah.
Justin, yeah. Justin, I love you. He like literally was like, you get to go to work. You get to do this podcast. You get to wake up. And I was just like, damn, Justin, like, you gotta school me like that, like, cause, and I do. And so that's why sometimes in those morning affirmations right now, anyone listening, just, you get to go after your life. You get to make your dreams come true. You get to work hard for them. And not everybody does get that. Some people's lives are cut short. Some people don't get an opportunity. So if you are up and you are like healthy and you're smart and you're able to like go after these things, like, I have to remind myself that all the time.
Yeah. No, that's a really, really good way, a really good perspective that it's true. We all get to do these. I mean, no, not all of us.
Yeah,
but
I
like
was
we
saying,
in
not, yeah.
particular, get to have these opportunities and get to do all the things that you just mentioned. And it's a privilege, honestly.
It is completely.
Yeah.
Like,
So
we're beyond privileged, and it's okay to feel bad days and hard days and bad for yourself. It's okay to do that. But it's important to remind ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow's just another day.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my dog.
So, okay. Well, Romi, thank you very much for sharing where you're at It's not easy. I know this. I'm in the thick of it with you, sister.
Yes.
But I believe in you.
I know you do.
And I know I always tell you, you have so much to offer. And one day I will be standing next to you seeing it all happen.
Do you hear my dog crying in the background? Because I'm 2 seconds from giving any first listener listening this dog. You too can have this dog.
No, you can't hear.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. And thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the podcast every morning. Thank you for constantly being like a positive ear and like motivating me. And that's my last bit of advice. Find those people in your life that are going to build you up and challenge you and support you. Because if they're not, get rid of them. That's not going to help you through your effing moment.
Yeah. That is really, really good point, actually,
Yeah.
because if you don't have a like-minded community, then you really won't get super far.
No.
Like they support you. You have to find people that think like you, that want the same things, because it's empowering and you'll push each other through. But if you got those negative Nancys that are trying to drag you down, get rid of them.
Get rid of
Get
them. They got to
rid of
go.
them. They've
Cut them
got to
out.
go. Yeah, cut those cords. They got to go.
They got to go.
Yeah.
There's no room for that when you're trying to move in these kind of directions in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, this is where we're going to say, just F
F
it.
it. Did we do it?
We almost got it.
I think I was like, that was pretty close.
Yeah.